Right now at noon, the investigation continues into the shooting death of conservative activist Charlie Kirk.
And we've got a second summer of sorts taking place across the area starting today. We'll have a look at that and when we might get some relief coming up.
Plus, Carl Junction's political battle continues as the impeached mayor files a court petition to reclaim his job.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Elise Noe. New at noon today, Pittsburgh State ROTC cadets brought the community together to remember the September 11th attacks. The annual Patriot Day remembrance began at 8 at Carney Smith Stadium. Cadets fired the cannon at the exact times of the attacks and collapse, then took turns reading nearly 3,000 names of those who died. For every name they dropped for a push-up for one cadet, the tradition carries special meaning.
Means quite a bit to a lot of us. A few of us that are prior service, it's one of the main reasons myself why I joined the Army, to do my part for our country and as well as others.
Organizers say the impact of the event lives on long after the final name is read. 2 students are wounded and the juvenile suspect is dead after a shooting at a Denver area high school yesterday. The sheriff's office says the gunman opened fire with a revolver. Video shows terrified students fleeing the scene and ringing a doorbell at a nearby home. Others were on lockdown inside Evergreen High School. They say authorities were in contact with the suspect about 3 minutes later. The manhunt is underway in Utah with the person who shot and killed conservative activist Charlie Kirk at an event at a college campus still not identified. Officials say the suspect appears to be of college age and blended in with the crowd after the shooting. CBS's Andres Gutierrez is in Utah with the latest.
Investigators in Utah say they have good video footage of the person they suspect killed Charlie Kirk yesterday.
We are investing everything we have into this and we will catch this individual.
Police say they found what they believe to be the murder weapon in a wooded area, a high-powered bolt-action rifle. Law enforcement sources tell CBS News the single shot was likely fired from the roof of the nearby Losi Center. It happened right as Kirk was fielding a question about gun violence.
Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Great.
After the shooting, we were able to track his movements as he moved to the other side of the building, jumped off of the building, and fled off of the campus and into a neighborhood.
Investigators have also collected footwear impression, a palm print, and forearm imprints for analysis.
Kirk was a highly influential conservative activist who was hosting an event at Utah Valley University.
He helped people to have a voice. He helped have discussions. He was probably the reason Trump won.
2 people were briefly detained after the shooting. Investigators say they determined both had nothing to do with the attack. Andres Gutierrez, CBS News, Orem, Utah.
Now, Kirk was 31 years old. He leaves behind a wife and 2 children. Let's go now to Chris Warner for a look at today's forecast.
Yeah, we've had a pretty decent start to the day. Skies were partly cloudy this morning, beginning to clear, and will continue to clear through the afternoon. Of course, this is a look from our downtown Pittsburgh camera from earlier this morning, getting some sunshine in there as we kick off again what is a second summer over the next about week or so here. Our temperatures yesterday started a little above average, 64. Our average high now down to 84, so we're only a degree above that. Not too bad, but that isn't going to last as our temperatures begin to climb, so keep that 84 in mind. Take a look at where we were below normal, right about, above, and well above as we head into the upcoming weekend. So we're getting into that 5 to 10 degree above normal range out there. We're going to go mid 80s by 7 o'clock this evening. We'll have clear skies. So for any night owls, those who like to stay up, or maybe just want to go enjoy some time outside, great evening to do so. Mid 70s by 11 o'clock and clear skies, mild temperatures overnight tonight. This heat will continue for a bit. We'll talk about that and when the fall-like weather returns in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, a new legal battle is brewing in Carl Junction. Former Mayor Mike Moss is challenging his impeachment. Earlier this week, Moss filed a petition in Jasper County Circuit Court. KOAM's Blake Gully spoke with his attorney about the case.
Weeks after being impeached, the former mayor of Carl Junction believes he was unlawfully removed from office.
In order to justify the removal, they have to show some kind of conduct on his part that negatively affected the functioning of the government of Carl Junction. And nothing like that happened. In fact, the administrator testified at the hearing that there hadn't been any disruption of government functions.
The petition also states the council relied on evidence from outside of Moss's time in office. His attorney says that made the proceedings improper.
He said the remark, again, in a private home, in a private conversation to another council member who then filed a complaint. Didn't say anything to him at the time, didn't say, oh, Mr. Moss, that's kind of out of order. Maybe you shouldn't be talking like that. No, instead what he does is he writes a written complaint.
Fleischaker is requesting a temporary order to reinstate Moss while the appeal moves forward. Next week, Carl Junction's aldermen will hold a special session ahead of their regular meeting to present candidates to fill the vacant mayor's seat. Reporting from Joplin, Blake Gully, KOAM News.
We reached out to the Carl Junction City Clerk office for a response on the filing. As of now, no comment has been provided. A Pittsburgh property owner has faced higher taxes after the city council votes to exceed state revenue limits. The council voted 3-2 to exceed the revenue neutral rate and pass the city budget. The state law requires cities to keep tax revenue at the same level each year through the revenue neutral rate, but the council chose to override that rule. Property owners will now pay about 3% more in taxes each year. Darren Hall explains why the council says it had to raise taxes.
I think the general fund's up about $1 million, which is about 3% over last year. I mean, we've gone through and calculated all the insurance, the raises, the cost of personnel, our benefits, electricity, all the utilities, the cost of goods. And so when you work all that into the formula, our costs have gone up about 3% at a minimum.
And this is the third time the city has voted to exceed the revenue neutral rate in recent years. And county commissioners are looking to give the McDonald County Courthouse a facelift with a roof replacement. This comes after the county battled leaks in the building for years. The commission is currently accepting bids for the project, which would see the complete removal of the current roof, installation of a new roof with a 20-year plus lifespan, waterproofing, and the replacement of all gutters and downspouts. Now, at this time, officials don't have an estimate on what it will cost, but they say it's a necessary project.
We're responsible for maintaining the county facilities, and our courthouse being the biggest facility we have in the county. So in that process, we're wanting to make sure that that building's repaired and taken care of to last us for a long time.
Now, the project will need to be completed by mid-December to ensure payment in the 2025 fiscal year. If you're interested in submitting a bid for the project, we have the details on how to do so on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Coming up, police stop a dangerous 120-mile-per-hour chase in southwest Missouri that started with a stolen Kansas City vehicle, and later were making the best chicken tenders ever in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. Authorities charge a man in connection to a Monday night shooting. McDonald County Sheriff's deputies responded to the call around 9:22 that evening. Dispatch notified authorities the victim had been shot around the neck and head area. Upon arrival, deputies found the victim holding a towel over his left ear. He said this man, Christopher Drum of Neosho, had shot him and then left with another person. Troopers found the vehicle Drum had left in, where they also found a rifle. They say they found Drum walking along the highway looking for his phone. Prosecutors have charged Drum with felony domestic assault in the first degree and felony armed criminal action. Well, an attempted traffic stop in Sarcoxie, Missouri turns into a chase all the way into Springfield. Police noticed a suspicious vehicle and discovered it was stolen from Kansas City. The vehicle fled for more than 50 miles with speeds topping 120 miles per hour, all while the driver threw multiple items out the window. Springfield police and Greene County deputies were able to spike the car, block it in, and arrest the driver. These are pictures of the car. Police say this man, Jason Maloney of Kansas City, has been charged with felony aggravated fleeing or Valentine's Law and a first-degree felony for the stolen vehicle. He is being held in the Jasper County Jail on a no bond hold. Sarcoxie police say this is the fourth stolen vehicle case with Jason Maloney. And authorities in Parsons, Kansas, charged this man, Khalid Rashad Lathrop Ragland, in connection with a stolen vehicle and weapons possession. Monday night, Parsons police responded to an alert from the city's flock camera system identifying a car reported stolen out of Midlothian, Texas. Parsons officers located the vehicle in a parking lot, and when approached, Ragland ran away but was caught in a wooded area and taken into custody. Officers discovered 2 handguns inside the stolen vehicle. Ragland is charged with possession of stolen property, criminal possession of a weapon, and interference with law enforcement. And still to come on KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
Our week-long back-to-school series continues with a dish that's A+ in our book.
And the summer-like heat will continue, as we mentioned, into the upcoming weekend. We'll talk about that, maybe some rain chances, and when the fall-like weather gets here right after this. Welcome back to the KOAM News at noon on what is again the first day of second summer. I mean, I know we're still technically in the summer season, but we're at that point where temperatures start coming down. Our average high starts to fall back a little bit because we're getting closer to fall, but we're entering a second summer starting today. Quick look outside from downtown Pittsburgh from this morning. Again, we started with partly to even mostly cloudy skies, but starting to get some gradual clearing, and skies will continue to clear as we head through the rest of our afternoon. So outside of the hot temperatures, it's a pretty decent day. Plentiful sunshine, a light south breeze, things looking good, and that'll continue through the evening and into the overnight hours as we roll into our Friday. Friday we start clear, then we'll start to see a transition to some partly cloudy skies possible as we roll into Friday afternoon, but we stay dry. Winds will shift out of the southwest and temperatures even warmer as we head into our Friday afternoon and evening. Then we go overnight Friday. It's still partly cloudy, even maybe some mostly cloudy skies briefly. We'll start our Saturday out pretty good. So the future track here has picked up on the possibility of a few clouds Saturday afternoon and maybe by Saturday evening east of I-49, an isolated pop-up shower or storm. This chance is very low. So right now we're not including it because so far there's only one version of the future track of all that computer data that says that. But as we've learned in the past, sometimes that one version is the one that has it right. So again, if we even get anything, it would still be isolated. 96% of us would remain dry on Saturday, but at least that possibility does exist. And we see that same possibility as we roll into our Sunday, again, of an isolated pop-up shower storm, but the majority of us would continue to remain dry. But we got a couple of more computers that are agreeing at least on a slight chance of a pop-up storm on Sunday. As for today, we're looking at highs right about 90. So of course, over our area, could get some upper 80s up north, some low 90s down south, but right about 90, and south winds 5 to 10 miles an hour with our skies continuing to clear out. As we head overnight tonight, clear skies expected, as we mentioned earlier as well. Pretty straightforward forecast in terms of the weather. It's temperatures, man. They're just kind of unpleasant over the next several days. Upper 60s, low 70s tonight. South winds 5 to 10 continuing. Rolling into tomorrow, we're going to go into the low to mid 90s. So now we're talking that 5 to 10 degree above normal range out there. Southwest winds 5 to 10 and a mix of those mostly clear to partly cloudy skies. Then as we head down the road, this low to midnight is why we're calling it a second summer. This isn't like a 2 or 3 day event. This is going to go on for the next several days. So we're low to mid 90s all the way through at least next Wednesday. We have the isolated pop-up storm chance on Sunday. It's an isolated chance, but it's there. And then one consistency. And sometimes in long-range data, there's not consistencies. It'll change, every so often. The new update will come out and something will modify. One consistency, though, is the continued tracking of a boundary. It's going to push in by Thursday. So initially we're going to be a little warm, just like the other days, upper 80s, maybe some low 90s here and there, but some isolated storm chances, some clouds, and this boundary brings in cooler air back behind it, and we actually get back to fall as we roll into next Friday and Saturday, back in the low to mid 80s. So just about a week of second summer before things start to cool back down by next Friday and Saturday. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, the Crawford County Conservation District hosted a BioBlitz event at Crawford State Park yesterday. The event was designed to promote the district's Parks for Pollinators campaign, which lasts the entire month of September. Everyone who visits the park is welcome to take part. And stick around, we're making the best chicken tenders ever in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. We'll be right back. What makes these chicken tenders so delicious and such a crowd pleaser? Well, here's a hint. It's in the batter. Howard's showing us how to make the best chicken tenders ever in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
It's back to school season, and that means it's a great time to hit the grocery store and take advantage of all the sales that are going on. And even if you don't have kids in school, you can still take advantage of all the savings. It's also a good time to start planning your meals rather than winging it when you walk in the door. So here's a tasty way to make chicken tenders that are both adult and kid-friendly. We start with a basic batter that's made by combining a beaten egg with some chicken broth, a splash of milk, a bunch of seasonings, and a good amount of self-rising flour. After it's mixed well, we dip some floured tenders into it and then into some hot oil to crisp up. We're going to want to do this in batches so we don't overcrowd the pan. Once they're golden, we drain them on a rack or on some paper towels. While they sit for a sec, we'll throw together a honey mustard sauce that's irresistible. You see, with each bite, you get the crispiness of the coating, the juiciness of the chicken, and the sweet and tanginess of the sauce. So do yourself a favor. Head over to our website to get the recipe for what we call the best chicken tenders ever, along with the sauce recipe. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a tender and juicy way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
You can find this delicious recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. All you have to do is go on over to our website. Of course, that's KOAMnewsnow.com. Now let's take a look at the 4-state market prices.
All right, our second summer rolling into the weekend. Low to mid 90s. Could get an isolated pop-up shower or storm on Sunday. The heat continues as we roll into the next work week, and then we'll have the opportunity for that boundary next Thursday. Brings our temperatures down by next Friday and Saturday to fall-like levels.
All right, well, it's nice to see that the little heat wave won't last for too long. And coming up tonight at 5, the so-called kissing bug disease may be becoming an endemic in the U.S. as human cases of the potentially deadly illness have been reported in several states. Plus, community members in Southwest Missouri are feeding first responders this September 11th. And a $5.5 million groundbreaking at Neosho County Community College for a new art center. You can join us for those stories and a whole lot more tonight on KOAM News at 5. And that's the news for now. Thank you for joining us on KOAM News at noon. Have a great rest of your day.